And welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast, where every week we discuss movies that are mostly thrillers, slashers, creature features, sci-fi.
Just whatever we decide that day.
Whatever we decide to watch. In a very, very in-depth discussion with a lot of intrigue and rambling.
And today's a very special episode.
Yes, it is.
And do you know why, Dan, is it a very special episode?
I don't know, but I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
I'm Sam.
I'm Frank.
And why, Frank? I mean,
Dan.
Yeah, why, Frank?
Listen.
why, Frank? Why, Travis?
You're freaking me out. You have zero emotions right now.
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't think you're. It's because
you, Travis, but it's not you.
It's coming from what I'm going to call the Dantarian closet. It's a pick from Dan.
It is.
It's his second pick ever. What was your? Was it?
Well, I mean, Christmas Vacation. If you want to count that.
Yeah.
So I didn't pick Overlord.
You did, but that was a.
I didn't pick.
No, but Overlord was a discussion of. Well, it was, but it was movies that we said we should do this in Planet. But I think this one, like Christmas Vacation, was a very executive decision.
Yeah, no question. I really wanted to do this movie. I remembered how much I really liked it, and when it came out, I'll tell you a whole background story on that. And
why don't we just do it now?
So, I guess this would be a pre-thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do we need to read the...
I'll explain it after. Let's just do the pre-thoughts.
It's a special
Just
episode.
do it.
So, when the movie came out, my best friend at the time said, there's this movie. It's a remake from the 1950s, Invade of the Body Snatchers. It's supposed to be great. The reviews have been great. We should go see it opening night, which at that time was a Friday night. Okay,
It was around Christmas, right?
I feel like it was somewhere around the holidays, yeah. So we went to see it, packed house, and I remember kind of going, is this going to be scary? I was not really sure. I'd never seen the original. I knew kind of what the premise was, and we can get into the whole political aspects of the original film. But I remember being very excited to see it when we sat down in the theater, because the audience was full and there was a lot of, you could feel a lot of cool energy going on. That's all I'm going to say.
But I feel hesitant because at the same time it sounds, like I said, this was in the 70s. It sounds almost very much from the name like a 50s.
Oh, for sure.
Sci-fi. And I mean, like I said, the original film and the book. So that's why with you, I'd be like, I don't know if this is going to be a horror movie. I think I would be kind of skeptical.
Oh, I think it. Yeah, but
I think
feels
it'd
like
be more
sci-fi movie
yeah,
to
you're
me.
right.
It seems like a horror movie to me.
You're right.
We'll get into all that though as we talk about it. What did you have any pre-thoughts? Is this your first time seeing it?
No.
Okay.
So Invasion of the Body Snatchers has always just been that one movie that I feel like everyone knows it existed.
Right.
It exists. But I'm just like, yeah, I know it exists, but I've never seen it, but it's a good one, I hear it's good. People like it, but it's funny because now I know it's the ending. That last shot, that's been memed on the internet.
Oh, no.
Forever.
The last shot.
And I never knew what it was from.
Sci-fi iconic.
Yeah, I never, people always would, make GIFs on it online. And,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Yelling.
And no, that's just my pre-thought. And I actually, it's funny because right before you made the executive decision, it was I was at home one day and it was on and I just sat down and I kind of I was like, I think this is Invasion of Body Snatchers. Yeah, and that's
the one that we are talking about?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sam?
Heard about it on my list. That's
Forever,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Right?
And
Why are you looking
Sam,
at me?
It's going to take me 20 years to watch a movie.
I have heard of it.
Was this your first time to see it?
It was my first time.
Cool. Was it your first time?
Mm-hmm.
It was your first time as well?
Mine as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's not that interesting. But yeah.
Damn, okay, Frank, you're freaking me out. You have zero emotions.
There you go.
Frank, what happened to that? What happened to that flower I gave you last week?
One of the things that I thought about before I started watching it was I have not seen it for probably 30 years.
Really?
So when it came out, I saw it in the theater like a couple of times, and then I saw it. I rented it a couple of times and saw it like on VHS or whatever at that time, Beta, whatever I was watching.
Tape.
Smoke signals.
But I hadn't seen it since then, so it'd been a long time. And one of the things I was
The Chief was a campfire star.
Before I started watching it, one of the things that flashed through my brain many times was, I wonder if this is really going to hold up, or is this going to be the Anzio effect?
That's always the worst.
Which is that movie, that war movie I saw when I was a little kid with Robert Mitchum, and I thought it was the greatest World War II movie ever made.
Yeah.
Then I rented it as an adult, and I couldn't get through it. It was so bad. So I was hoping, God, please don't let that be that kind of thing. So as I was watching the opening credits, and not really remembering any details about the movie, like when I say details, like how the opening credits play out. I remember most of the sequences and how the story was told and how it unfolded. And it's a slow burn. I mean, they are really building you through this. They are trying to, I don't know about logically, but I guess there is a certain logic to how they're trying to get us to the point of, oh yeah, we're fucking standing in shit here. So I was happy as I was watching it that, okay, I feel like this is not going to be that experience where I'm going to go, oh crap, this isn't really that great. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just listening.
Oh, how about that shot? I totally forgot. That's Robert Duvall.
Yeah, it's Robert Duvall.
And
yeah.
I totally forgot
He's
that.
in it. I didn't know he
He's
was.
the priest at the beginning on the swing,
Really?
who's just staring at the kids.
I didn't know that.
Pick those pretty flowers, kids. And you don't even know what that means. I mean, that doesn't sound right. But he's the one just swinging back. I wonder what the connection is, why he was in there. Is he friends with,
probably.
what's his name, the director?
There's a crazy amount of cameos in this
movie.
movie.
And I made notes about some of the really interesting cameos that date back to the original film.
Yeah, I think the writer or director in it.
The director's the cab driver.
Yeah.
And then the guy who's banging on the window, they're coming. That's the guy who played the Donald Sutherland role in the original.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah. That's how the
okay.
movie ends. He's running around town going, they're coming.
Oh, that's really
That's
cool.
a
That's
good
how the
shout-out.
movie actually ends. And that's the closing credits. He's just running around screaming at anybody who will listen.
That's cool.
Did you know Jeff Goldblum's in this movie?
Oh, we'll talk about that too. Well, Frank and I actually talked about it before the podcast because I thought it was. I mean,
Why are you
that's the first time I
speaking
ever.
before the podcast?
That's the first time I ever remember seeing him.
You can all hold me to this.
No, thank you.
I don't want to hold you at all.
I will give
let alone
everyone.
through this.
I'll give everyone
Denied.
I'll give everyone $1 if I fail this.
I need more than $1.
What?
If I got to hold you, I need a lot more
No, I'm
than
saying
$1.
this is going to be my only side tangent on this.
Oh, let's stop, everybody.
Okay.
Hold on to the table, folks.
So
Could take a while.
Since you said, I was just thinking about it because you
Eyes
said
rolling from
because
Sam.
you said a
As
movie
always.
you saw as a kid and you thought it was the coolest movie ever, and then you watched it again and it didn't hold up. I think one of my ultimate ones of that was when I was a kid. I saw this movie called Small Soldiers.
Yeah.
It was about this kid that his dad owns a toy store, and
Okay, that's not the animation thing with the soldiers. What's that called?
No,
Yeah.
it is, and then
Yeah.
it's the toys. It's the toy.
Right. It's got that mean
directed
soldier.
by Joe Dante. It's like the soldiers versus
Yeah. I saw that in the theater
versus the Gorgonites
with my kids.
How did you remember that?
because I watched.
What does that have to do with Jeff Goldblum?
No, I
No,
said
his
a movie.
tangent was that
a movie that
exactly same dance.
No, it's just saying a movie that you thought was the coolest thing, and then you watch it and you're
Yay.
like, this is actually kind of stupid.
Yeah, I
Really?
remember because I was an adult when I saw it, and I remember thinking this should be.
I hope you took your kids to
I
see it.
did see it, but I remember thinking while I was watching it, this should be way funnier than it is.
And-
It's just not funny.
I loved it. I had it on VHS.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
me
you watch
too.
it as an adult?
No.
No, I'm saying watch
not
it.
Yeah.
Because as an
stupid.
adult, I kept going.
Cool.
This could
Kirsten
be
Dunst.
This could
Yeah.
be so funny.
It's and then when you find out who directed it,
That's so weird.
you're like, it should have been way better. Joe Dante.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that's so weird.
Yeah.
What did he do?
He did Gremlins.
He also did the volcano.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
No, the one with Tom Hanks.
Another Dante's
Oh
Peak.
no.
Dante's other
no,
peak.
Jewel of the Nile.
Yes, but didn't he do the Tom Hanks
Romancing
movie?
the Stone. No, I'm thinking. No, that's
No,
not
you're
Tom
thinking of
Hanks.
Michael
Here.
Douglas.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Tom Hanks movie.
Joe Dante's done.
You've got mail.
Something volcano.
Oh, Joe's
Joe's volcano.
Joe versus the volcano.
Wasn't that not Dante?
I don't know.
No.
Dante's
Dante
big.
is Pierce Brosnan.
Didn't you meet Joe Dante? Did you meet him once, the director? No? Yeah,
That's cool.
I think
He
so.
did The Burbs.
Yeah, The Burbs.
Oh,
is
The
great.
Burbs. That was the Tom Hanks movie.
More importantly, he did Looney Tunes 2 back in it.
Yeah.
More importantly, he had nothing to do with this movie.
I met
if you're
him.
taking notes, we're talking about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Donald Sutherland,
I said that's my
1978.
one and only tangent. I
Well,
got
let's
it
pull-
going
let's reel
before
it
the
ba-
movie
Let's
started.
reel it back in.
Okay, sorry. So we are watching. So this movie is called Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978.
Oh.
Directed by Philip Kaufman,
Yeah.
based on the Body Snatchers 1954 novel by Jack Finney.
And is that it?
No, I'm gonna say okay. So, if by any chance you don't know what this movie is or what it's about, it is
Spoiler.
about. Excuse me. When strange seeds drift to Earth from space, mysterious pods begin to grow and invade San Francisco, replicating the city's residents one body at a time.
What is
Yep.
You're interrupting me, sir.
That is it.
Hereditary.
That is it.
Hereditary.
I hate that movie.
That was the film.
The film?
That was
That
the
is
film.
the film that we watched. So let's start talking about our first impressions, or sort of walk
My-
through it. Love to
going-
hear Sam.
Going back to you were saying you really liked the opening credits with
Mhm.
like the slime and whatnot like going through. What I wrote down was when towards the end of that when like the little roots started spreading,
Mm-hmm.
it reminded me so much of Annihilation. I hated it.
Your subwoofer, like your sound.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, just like the
I can see
just
that.
like the visuals.
I
it
can
just,
see
like,
why you would say that.
creeped me out. I
Yeah,
thought the
for
opening credit was
sure.
great because like you don't need anything but you know what's happening.
It's cool because they did it during the credits. They set
Yeah.
all that shit up without you having to go
I
credits.
love-
And now let's watch this
Exactly.
all happen.
I love a good opening credits explanation. That just tells you everything.
And it doesn't happen that often,
I mean, and it's funny too because I
especially
feel
during
well,
credits.
Yeah.
now, and it's like now when you, I mean, they don't do it as much, but I feel like especially like the '90s, like late '90s, early 2000s, it was always let's cut to like the newspapers or like
Yeah.
painting like newspaper clippings that just explain the whole
With the
story.
we've
opening
seen
music.
that. We've seen that too in movies that we've discussed where they do that kind of thing.
13 Ghosts.
I will say, I'll comment on this. I'd love to hear you guys' reaction as well.
Mhm.
I did find the music very 70s,
Oh, it's
almost TV like.
I liked
a
it.
little
It
bit.
felt very dramatic. Dun, dun, dun,
Well, and I
dun,
would
dun,
say-
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's- I
didn't dislike it, but I was very aware of it. It
yeah.
wasn't subtle.
It definitely made
wasn't.
it feel like a movie that was from the 70s,
really-
which it was.
But I mean, that was one
Yeah.
of the more 70s things about the movie.
Yeah.
'Cause the rest of it, like the way it was shot, I thought it was
didn't,
pretty
It
cool.
didn't feel dated at all. No.
And I was shocked because it doesn't. And all the effects, which are, I think they're all practical.
They're all done in camera.
That was cool. Even if you
They
kind of giggle at
Jake
some of
Field
them.
is
No, you
soda.
know how they got the shot in the beginning with like all the stuff coming to Earth and stuff, the stuff dropping. They went to a junkyard and they bought a bunch of scrap metal for $12,
Oh man, you
And-
did some research.
and then they dropped it. Well, because you know me, I'm always interested about like that kind of. So they dropped it and then they reversed it. That's how they got it. They reversed the shot.
That's cool.
Yeah. Which is
You got something to say?
so cool.
I roll.
How
So
did
cool.
you guys feel about the pacing of the movie? Because this is something I was thinking about. Because it's 1978. It's the story unfolds. I mean, it's always moving forward. It's never really stagnant, I don't feel. But it also, I don't know if you made the movie today, if you would allow that same style of pacing to kind of build, like, okay, we're going to meet the different characters. Like, I think the scene with Donald Sutherland in a restaurant is hilarious. I
Well,
love that scene.
What happened in
It's
that
a
one?
caper. It's
Oh.
a rat shit. Caper. Eat it. I think that's such a great
It's-
scene
Yeah.
because it just sort of sets him up and the whole idea of
I kind of like because it's almost kind of like you said, it's almost like a blending of genres even more because
yes.
it's almost like it almost has that like noir kind of like you said like a
Yeah.
caper like a noir. That's
Very
why
caper.
that's why I liked it because it's like I said it's moving on and like stuff's progressing. It's like as they're meeting people and going, it's moving, but it's never you never get any sense that like some of the scenes feel like a waste and it's kind of just killing time.
That's how I felt. I mean, I
And-
also
'cause like
like
I
the
said,
love story aspect. Not
Yeah.
like it's a really deep love
'Cause-
story, but
But you
he
can tell
really is in love with her.
No,
like you
yeah.
can tell
Yeah.
the first
you
scene,
didn't
he's
even
looking
have
at her.
to say anything.
Exactly.
Right. The way he looked at her and everything.
I
Like,
really
oh, this
like
guy
that.
loves
He
her.
sold it.
Now, have you guys ever seen Brooke Adams ever, the girl?
Mm-mm.
So
No.
she was
Very
actually
pretty.
She was really big for like a half a minute. She was in Days of Heaven, which was considered critically was like phenomenal. She did about 4 or 5 films in a very short period of time, and she was very hot for a while in terms of her.
Right. Stardom.
She's very talented and really pretty.
She's married to Tony Shalhoub.
And then
What?
Yeah.
Mr. Monk?
I watched.
and then kind of
I saw 2
for
movies
whatever
today with Tony
reason,
Shalhoub.
either she kind of faded out of the Hollywood picture. I'm sure she kept working, but I don't know. Watching her last night, watching it again, I was like, man, you are so freaking pretty and really good.
She kind of reminded me of the lead in Suspiria and
Oh, Phantom
Phantom
of
of
the
the
Paradise.
Paradise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she must
Jennifer-
be older than him then.
She is
Older
It's
than
like-
who's him?
Tony
Tony
Shalhoub.
Shalhoub.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
Just
she
by
would.
that picture.
So I'm guessing she was probably in her
She's on-
1978, probably in her early 30s, or maybe not quite there yet. I mean, Donald Sutherland, who looks so young in this movie, he was actually probably 40, I'm guessing, at that point, because he started his big break was MASH, and that was like 68.
Oh, he was. I
I
didn't know he
always
was in MASH.
forget. Well, he was in the film, not the TV show.
Yeah, he was in the original film.
It's
I love Donald Sutherland, and I always forget how talented that guy really was or is.
Don't Look
No, he
Now.
passed away, didn't
He
he?
did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
how-
I was gonna ask you,
how
was that
good he
before
really
or after
was.
Don't Look Now?
Don't Look Now. Maybe around the same. I think.
Well, it was 1978 with Animal
think-
House. He did that year.
Oh yeah, I think
And
it
he
was
did this.
literally like within years of each other.
Did you watch Don't Look Now?
I don't think so. I don't know the title.
It's Sutherland, and that's all I know. But it's like a
Oh well, no, it was way before
Psychological-
70. It was 73.
So that's
Really?
closer to Bob, Ted, Carol, and Alice, which is a big film that he did. MASH, obviously, was a huge film. He did The Getaway. No, that was Steve McQueen. He did. I don't know. He did a bunch of movies. He was was definitely an A guy for a while.
A
He was in the Italian Job remake.
Yeah. So
with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
So what did you
For
guys?
like the first scene.
What did you think of the pacing? Just the way
I
the
liked
story
it.
goes.
Like I said, I don't know. I like a good like caper noir movie, so I didn't mind, and I didn't mind it too because like I said, I mean, you don't get it now. The movie's under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, crazy.
It's like 150. No, it's
One-
like
yeah.
10
So
minutes shy.
I didn't mind it all. You know, I mean, I thought the pacing was fine. But then
Same.
again, I kind of like
It's creepy. I think that's why it works
But
for me.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The creep factor just stays there the whole time. Every angle. It's like the use of
builds.
shadows are crazy in that movie. I was thinking about you actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think the shadows.
I always
in
think
that
about
movie.
I
you.
loved it.
Didn't you love the use
Okay.
like when they're running and the big shadows?
Yeah,
that was
it was
casting,
100%
all this-
film noir.
So cool.
Yeah.
looking.
It was good.
Within the first introduction of Sutherland's character, what I liked was the POV of the peephole.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
That was nice, and even what did I write down? It's like even
We don't know. We're not you.
Well, and we don't
slow
want to get to
zoom
know
shot
you.
of hallway. What the hell does that mean?
Say it
There's
again.
hallway because of the people.
We don't know. We're
Slow
not you.
zoom shot of hallway.
I don't know what you're talking
I feel like there were so many cool shots.
Yeah.
Like
But
that.
yeah, like even that, just like
Because
the
you
way
were
Like
they.
I
under
think
the
at the time
like
you wrote it,
under
you're
the
like, yeah, it's that one.
Exactly,
And then
that
there's like
one.
20.
No, but,
Yeah.
but like under the stairwells,
Yeah.
like all these things, under the dock. There was just so many cool shots, and the way the lighting would just. I mean, it felt very real to me. Like this is what it would look like lighting-wise.
Wait, sorry, I missed it. Did you watch the first one?
The
No,
original.
No, I'd
did
like
you?
to talk about that.
Okay.
I have seen it. Yes,
Did you read the book?
I did not. Have you read the book?
No.
I didn't.
Did
think
you
so.
see the remake with Nicole Kidman and
I
Daniel
did.
Craig?
I did. Here's the thing.
Did anyone?
I liked the original, not the original. I liked the '78 one so much, and
That you
when
don't
I
wanna bother.
I was like, and I also read about it. I heard it wasn't
Well,
great, so I just kind of went.
Veronica Cartwright's
Why
in it.
Loved her in this movie.
She had.
No one can scream like Veronica Cartwright.
I'm wondering if they do the same thing they did with the lead in the original, because her appearance in the remake, from what I read, is she's a patient who's talking to one of the doctors about how her husband's not her husband. So I wonder if they kind of like hint at that the way that the
when you say
that
the
the guy
original
running
in the 1950s.
yeah, like
original?
the guy running in the street going, they're coming. I wonder if they do a similar thing with
Well,
that one.
in the in this
Yeah,
latest remake.
I haven't seen it either,
Oh.
so I
Is it-
don't know.
oh,
but-
So
I
in the
would-
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say I was about to spoil it because I don't
You've
know if
seen
it's
it?
the same. No, but I remember someone talking about. I don't know if it's that movie. I have to look it up about something where it's called. I don't know if the others are where you find out at the ending is like everything is fake because they're kind of doing like a seance.
No, that's
Oh,
the
no.
other.
That's the
Oh,
others.
the huh?
That's the other.
And it's not that.
That's what
that
we
takes
said.
place in
Fake.
World War. It takes place in the Civil War.
Yeah.
With Nicole Kidman, right?
I love
Yes.
that. No, he's
Oh,
talking
that's
about
a
the Body
great movie.
Snatchers.
Oh,
Aren't you talking about Body
yeah, I'm
Snatchers?
talking
thought-
about. Yeah.
Okay, I thought the Nicole Kidman movie, The Others.
The others is great.
I thought that was a remake of Invasion.
No, they're ghosts.
Sir.
That's what
No,
I had. Okay,
it wasn't a dream. They're ghosts. We find out at the very end they're actually ghosts, and there's
Yeah.
a seance.
They're
going
the
on.
ones
Yeah.
haunting.
I
Well,
really liked that movie.
Yeah,
I thought that
me
movie was
too.
creepy too. Really well shot.
so when did the remake of
Body
Invasion?
Snatchers came out in 2000?
I am your daughter.
Who was
What
in
year?
that?
That's from the.
Oh yeah,
others.
yeah.
Who
Body,
was
it was called the Body Snatchers. It came out in
Snatched body.
oh,
Which one?
Frank.
the latest
I'll look it
Invasion.
Oh no, the latest one was just called Invasion, or The Invasion.
Oh, I thought it was called Body Snatchers.
Frank.
I think there was one before then.
Oh, 2000. Daniel Craig and
Mm-hmm.
Nicole Kidman.
Mm-hmm.
What's that one
I'm
called?
s-
Invasion?
The Invasion.
I feel so stupid. I always thought The Others. I confused those two
Yeah,
movies.
no.
No.
Referenced in other media, though.
Yeah, I've never bothered watching any of the other remakes.
well, no. My original question was that because I read somewhere that they kind of not copied, they borrowed, quote unquote, the film noir from the first one.
Homage.
And
Oh,
so I was
ab-
going to ask you, did you
absolutely.
feel that?
Yes, for sure. I mean, the original, because it was made in the 50s, I mean, it was a low-budget film. So there's some cool aspects to it because it was a low-budget film. I think it was shot in Sierra Madre, you know,
Well, I think
black and white, very that era. And I think Kevin McCarthy plays the lead in that. He's a doctor. And it's very similar in
Yeah.
terms of how it unfolds. I like these weird things keep happening. He has these patients. That's not my husband, you know. So it has a very similar, but not as fully realized in terms of the science fiction aspect, you know, because this really, you know, with all the how we saw it, how it
Yeah.
happens, and you know that, which I think that scene when you finally see it when Donald Sutherland's asleep in his garden in the backyard,
Oh, that was
and you
creepy.
actually see
Yeah.
what actually is going on.
Tendrils coming.
I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, and I'm just
Yeah.
crazy, and how you start your skin starts flaking, and
palms are sweaty.
yeah.
Mom spaghetti.
I
Right.
really like the scene with Jeff Goldblum and Veronica Cartwright's their mud bath place.
Oh yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
most disgusting place ever, and I don't know why
It's
people would go
gross.
there.
That's a
Why
real
would you-
thing.
I know, I
I don't
understand
think it
that,
still
but
is,
it's
is it?
like
No.
it's not. But like all the tile and it's just gross,
It felt so. I agree with you.
dingy.
It felt
Yeah.
so appropriate to go with that movie though, where you're
Yeah.
kind of like, wow, we're doing this and we're in mud baths.
I wrote a note saying that like Sutherland's character, what's his name, Matthew?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He works for the public health department, but then
Yeah.
he got so up close to that corpse. And
That
it's like,
scene was, I know.
right, so you're
I
breathing
kept saying
all
that
that
you
in.
wouldn't touch this thing. You wouldn't get. You don't
yeah,
know
and he's
even
just,
what
like,
you're looking at.
lifting it up and just like an
But
inch.
when the
clo-
blood goes out of the nose and Jeff Goldblum's looking at his bloody,
Ugh.
I mean, that was the first time I saw it. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
I think
No.
the sequence where where Donald Sutherland, that long sequence where he's on different payphones and he's
Yeah.
walking through the city and he's
Yeah.
talking to different people. I think that scene is so well done.
I agree.
It just covers so much territory, but maintains this sort of urgent, creepy.
pace.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
god,
not
this
stale
is
at all.
crashing
Mhm.
and burning all around you.
You feel that like sense of urgency where you're right, things were happening, but the conversation's still going on.
Yeah.
But there's so many cuts within that you're like, oh no, he needs to.
And just him.
Yeah.
I think it's that slow realization where he realizes, oh, there's something. Yeah, this is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Something is
This
afoot.
is real.
At the
Something
Special K.
fishy.
Circle K.
Going back to the whole pace thing. When I saw that the movie was almost 2 hours, I kind of got a little apprehensive because I don't mind a long movie, but when it comes to like older movies, I may have an issue with
You
the
get
pacing.
concerned.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, you know, obviously our sensibilities now are different. We're used to a different kind of pace. So you never know if a movie's going to be a little too slow for, you know, current.
Exactly. That's what I was
Yeah.
worried about.
And no, I thought the way that they built up everything, but kept this, underlying tone from the very first shot. That opening credits, seeing the pods like growing and stuff. Like it's perfect to set the pace and like have it in the back of your mind. Like, oh no, something's gonna happen. This is all,
building, right?
Building, which I thought they did a really good job. And even there's a scene where Elizabeth and Matthew are talking, and they're going down like a hallway. Yeah. And they pass by this door with a window, and you just see somebody staring out of it. I was like, ah.
I love that because they sprinkle a lot of that.
They do. Like the janitor in the back just buffing the buffing the floor as he's sort of staring. It's like so.
They do such a good job with that.
Yeah, and you know what it reminds me of? It's like when like I don't remember at what part, but they were getting chased by these pod people. It reminds me so much of Inception, because you know how when they went into the dream and then the people in the dream start realizing that they're not authentic or whatever. Yeah. And they start chasing them just like that awkward chase. It reminds me of that.
Oh, was it when they get split up? I think?
Yeah.
So, just to reel back to the original, the book and the original film. Now, Travis, I'm asking you because it looks like you've done some reading and research on the movie.
I didn't read the book.
Do you? No, but I mean, you have some facts.
He was so annoyed.
Are you guys aware of the sort of political background of the movie and the book and what it was all kind of doing a send-off on?
So
it was very much in resistance.
Is it the Red
very much
Scare?
in resistance to McCarthyism. And the Red Scare. Yeah. And the guy who wrote the original novel and the original film was basically, that's what it was kind of about. It was sort of an anti-communism, or this whole scare of how, we're becoming something else. You're the same, but you're different now. And that was sort of the movie kind of got away with it as a sci-fi movie, but it was actually doing a big commentary on what was going on with McCarthyism and communism and all that, which I thought was really interesting. And that was one example. Like there's Arthur Miller wrote a play called The Crucible, which was also the same thing.
Yeah.
There were many things during the 50s where Hollywood and Broadway were putting out these stories, but they were disguising them in ways that the common anti-communist people didn't understand that that's what they were actually doing. So I thought that was really cool. And I'm glad that they stayed with that and embraced that concept in this movie in 78. I don't know that it really had the same kind of impact because of what that was originally about.
It's kind of funny you said films. I think it's kind of funny is one of them that when the movie came out and people were like dissecting it and they were like, so your movie about communism and all that, and the director's like, no, it's not. was Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, what are you guys talking
He was
about?
like, it's just I mean, the movie does have its own themes, like obvious themes in it, but it's like, no, it's just zombies, like
just a bunch of zombies.
Yeah,
bro.
it's like this isn't about like
straight up
communism
zombies, man.
or like
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying, Frank. Sorry, Travis.
Good job, Travis. Go ahead.
When you were talking about how you kind of wary about the story dragging one, because it was for me, it was more of how it was shot. Because back then it was very standard to just do something so normal.
Yeah.
But what I loved was that they did a lot of really interesting cinematography, right? Yeah. And like you said, Dan, like lighting and lack thereof or whatnot. But that kept me entertained.
Yeah, same.
So that was what I really liked.
And there was, like the scene where they first go to Mr. Spock's, and
they tried to make him different in this movie.
They did.
They tried to break his
Spock.
His
typecasting.
But Leonard Nimoy as the which was also very popular back then. The what do you call the
nerd?
The pop psychologist who writes all the books and everybody's reading the book. But that whole scene was really cool. Like, this is the way it was shot. There was something sort of claustrophobic with Donald Sutherland and Jeff Goldblum, and she's kind of walking through the crowd, and you're watching this sequence.
Oh, yeah, I like that a lot.
I thought it was really well done. There were so many, pretty much all of the movie was really well done.
Yeah.
The way they shot it, the way you felt a sense of claustrophobia almost with what was going on. And I thought the reveal, even though I already knew it, I thought the reveal of him already being a pod was actually pretty cool.
I thought it was going to be the reveal, like, because I don't know, like me thinking, older movie classes, I thought it was gonna be, like I said, it was a good twist because it's like, oh, you find out in the end like she's gonna be the pod, but then it's like, no, it's not.
Oh yeah, it's so sad when. I mean, it's cool when he says "I love you" and hugs her, and she disintegrates. And then you see her now.
That effect was disgusting. I didn't expect the movie to be as gross in certain ways. It was even.
I agree. Like when he chops up his own head. And stuff, that was probably the most gross part of the movie.
And then the dog with the
that
human
was so
face.
Cool.
When
half dog,
when
half man.
ran out, I was like,
What
am
the
I having
fuck?
a fever dream?
Yeah, but they put the mask on the dog.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And this whole idea that you have to just, like Veronica Cartwright figures out, hey, I know how to do this. You just have to, like, you have no emotion.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
it was like Shaun of the Dead.
I thought that was a cool.
And that whole scene when they walk by on the sidewalk and it's just their feet and legs, and you see the other people turning around, following them. There's just so many cool. Philip Kaufman
really,
did such
really
a great
good
job
direction
with it.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting in a good way, the way they, because I feel like they set up Veronica's character as like the typical, she's not, doesn't have what it takes to like survive this movie. She's gonna be cannon fodder. But then she's the one that figures out how to get by and last till like the very last frame. I thought that was really, really cool, really done really well, and
unexpected.
Unexpected, and had I not, and also really sad. But had I not seen the meme of Donald Sutherland's reaction,
yeah, you wouldn't have known that.
I wouldn't have known.
And that's sad because that's such a great reveal at the end of the movie.
It's a great ending.
He is a pod now.
Well, and that's
No, go.
And I'm saying, and that's just, I guess, because like the meme, it's one of those like famous kind of twist or endings that just like everyone knows about now. Like
I know,
like Sixth Sense. It's like, oh, you haven't seen the movie,
but you don't know how you get there, so it's still
well, yeah,
works
exactly,
okay.
and and I said, and I think that like, Invasion, it's even though you know the ending, like I said, the journey of it and like the movie itself, it's not just like, oh well, like if you take that shock ending out of the movie's
right.
Yeah,
well, that's more Sixth Sense for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I tell you my notes? I wrote.
Yeah, please.
Spock in denial is so annoying. He said he's trying to help, but all he did was question everyone's stories. And then I wrote, never mind.
I mean, I agree. I found it kind of annoying, even after knowing that he had already returned. I think they just do that to really
throw you off,
steer you away from.
Yeah. And
he is trying to be logical. Think of what you're saying. Imagine if I came in and told you this, you'd look at me like, Dan. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, it's not that's the other thing I liked about it. It was a science fiction movie, but it really it didn't embrace it in a way of, oh yeah, we're right away going to believe that this is happening. It was very logical in the way that, no, this is not what you're saying is not possible.
I was trying really hard to maybe bring this up like in final thoughts.
Okay.
Or
well,
say
hold on.
it. Because remember I said I'm going to go on one tangent, but this one's actually kind of related.
You went on two already.
I did not.
I don't
Yes, you
think
did.
we're that far from final thoughts. I would like to talk about the third act just a little bit.
Okay, well, we can talk about this a
Meaning
little
just
bit.
kind of how it.
We can talk about this. No, so you were talking about, how the movie.
Can we also talk about Jeff Goldblum for a minute?
Yeah.
Like after that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
so-
I would like to as well.
We do need to talk about Jeff Goldblum.
We need to have a discussion. Sorry.
How the movie. Sorry, it totally just. I'm sorry, because we stopped the chain of
Sorry.
linking.
Do you want to go back to it?
No,
then?
no. Have any of you seen the movie The Faculty?
Yes.
I know this. I don't think so.
Okay, so this is a movie that came out in 1997, 1998.
Question mark?
I think it was 97 or
Yeah,
98.
I
And
believe
it's
it was
basically,
97.
it's almost like a. It's weird because it almost wants to be a like homage to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it's almost kind of like it's not sure what it wants to be. And basically, it's about Elijah Wood is a high schooler in Texas, and this pod lands in like the football field, and the football coach finds it, and then slowly like the faculty of the school and the students, they start
Getting replaced.
getting replaced.
That is a total lift. Of
But
Invasion
here's
of
the
Body
thing that's
Snatchers.
weird because this is
Is
what
it a comedy? I hope.
and that's the thing. I think the movie.
No.
It's a horror
and that's what I'm
film.
saying is I think the
Horror
movie
film.
is very.
That's a rip.
Well, but this is the thing, and this is why the movie is very unsure of it, what it wants to be, because there's literally a scene in the movie where you said, because you said, well, they're finding everything out, where they're sitting in the library, and I guess you find out like Elijah Wood is like a big sci-fi reader, and he goes, this is like the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's something, and he goes, what if
That's just an excuse to rip it off.
But this is where it gets weird, because it literally introduces this idea and it just totally disappears, where he goes, what if like this stuff has happened before, and like what if all these books were like written as a warning of like what to come, all sci-fi books and all these things, and then it just like completely just disappears.
This sounds not good.
It's a really uneven.
But you like that movie, no?
I like parts about it, and that's why I was excited to see. And when we did, like, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because like I said, it's a movie I had never seen, but everyone knows what it's about, and you can barely tell. Oh, this is like an homage to it. It's good, but it's one of those I always find more faults with it.
It doesn't sound good. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You didn't do a good job selling it that it's good. You actually did a good job making me never want to see it.
I don't think you would like it at all.
Well, because it's probably not good.
It's a very weird movie.
Now, if you told me it was a comedy, I'd be interested.
Well, that's the thing, is it's like,
because now it's like, okay, so it's
I will tell you
like
this.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Do you know who Robert Rodriguez is?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this movie was directed by Robert Rodriguez.
His brother Fred.
And I think Kevin Williamson wrote it, who wrote Scream.
Oh, there you go.
But anyways, we're focusing on.
Back to Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. Donald Sutherland, Brooke Adams, Jeff Goldblum, and Veronica Cartwright.
Jeff Goldblum.
Let's talk
So you
Jeff
want to talk
Goldblum.
about his Goldblum?
Let's talk about Jeff Goldblum, because before you jump in my memory of Jeff Goldblum, this is the first movie I ever remember seeing him in.
Jurassic Park.
And what?
Jurassic Park was mine.
Yeah. So I remember being very taken by his performance, because remember, I'd never seen him before. So I was like, wow, this guy's really quirky. This is really interesting. What a cool casting this was of him.
This was before The Fly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Fly was the 80s.
Yeah, this was, he had a good A-lister run there going for a while. I feel like this movie kind of launched him a bit.
What was he in before? Because
I don't know. I never saw him before.
Well, that's the thing is
I'm sure he did things.
Well, I think I'll look him up, but I think like the earliest stuff I had seen with like Jeff Goldblum was like, obviously like with The Fly, and I think a couple years later, I think it was right before Jurassic Park, was Earth Girls Are Easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was he and Gina Davis. That was.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Frank.
His first thing was Death Wish.
He was in Death Wish?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he had a small
Charles
part.
And then he was
Bronson,
in Annie Hall as well.
Oh, he's probably like an extra.
He was in
He
Annie
was
Hall.
in Annie Hall.
But he was only in like one scene. He was, I think, in the Hollywood scene when they're in he's at the Hollywood party, Woody Allen.
Yeah, these were his early like small roles. I feel like Invasion was like his first big thing.
Yeah, I thought he was great in that in Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Mm-hmm. I was telling Dan earlier that I was surprised by how like unpolished he was in terms of the Jeff Goldblum personality. Like it felt like he was trying versus like doing the Jeff
Naturally,
Goldblum thing,
right.
Yeah. Which I don't mind.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to see where he was then and where he is now. Like it's the same person, you can kind of see it, but it definitely feels like he's finding, like Dan said, his footing.
I agree with you.
I
mean, he was kind of I don't want to say the comic relief, but he was kind of the quirky guy.
He was like the tension break.
Yeah.
He was the quirky guy, but he was also like, I wouldn't say like the straight man, but he was also like, he offered like an opposing like energy.
There was a reason,
which I thought was really cool.
I like that he was an art, like he was a poet.
Yeah,
and I love that whole. He just can't stand the psychiatrist guy because this is just crap, man.
Yeah,
when he goes in there,
I also thought it was really funny that Nancy Cartwright's character was, or Veronica Cartwright's character was.
Simpsons?
Yeah, that when they were talking about it, she was like saying, "Yeah, it's like when the aliens came down and mated with the monkeys, and then we came out and they're doing it again." And I was like, "Yep."
I love that, and I loved how the camera settled on Donald Sutherland while he was tying his tie, listening to her, and the look on his face of just sort of like almost like buying into the concept that this is like, yeah. There's so many like cool little moments in that house sequence. And when he starts calling the play and they know his name. I didn't tell you my name.
Yeah.
And when Jeff
Needle
Goldblum
drop,
says,
right.
"Do you have a gun?" This is such a simple thing. Like, we're now going to that level. Like, do you have a gun? We're going to start shooting people.
Yeah.
It just
They build up so good.
The build in this movie is so good.
That scene was also when he fell asleep. Sutherland
Yes.
fell asleep in the garden, right?
Yes, that whole
was so
sequence is
creepy.
crazy.
Yeah, I just love that scene because it's like
When he sneaks in the house to go get her, and he gets to her bed and he sees her body in the garden. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you're right though. Without thinking about noir, you're absolutely right. It was so noir, and I don't think that ever really occurred to me all the times I've seen it.
It didn't. It wasn't like hitting you in the face.
No, but
when you think back, like, oh no, I can see
Well, but
where that influence was.
And that's what I think it's like. Like I said,
because it's like a detective movie.
It's done like with a purpose. It's just not just there to be like, oh, wouldn't
Yeah.
it be cool if like
right.
We did this noir.
Like I'm gonna just like I said, like another example too is like the first Terminator movie, totally a noir movie, but yeah.
And the first Terminator movie is a great.
Stupid.
I really loved it.
I just want to see your reaction.
I think the first
He's
one's
so serious.
the
He almost
first one
choked
where,
He's
you.
like,
where
I
Arnold
know, it's like
Schwarzenegger
you're
plays the
walking
bad
home.
guy. That's a great movie.
Okay, my con for this movie.
Oh
Sure.
no.
We
Con
had-
Air, you're Con Air.
Con Air.
I'm all in.
You're like, tread lightly.
Mm.
Okay,
If you had to pick one thing,
this is my one thing.
I'll try to come with a con. So go ahead.
It's just that I feel like, right, sci-fi movie, I don't think it presented the answer or some sort of answer quick enough. Because I wrote down, when they
When you
finally
say answer, what do you mean?
to the whole situation.
Oh,
'cause-
why it's happening?
Yes. So the part where they're like, oh, we're coming in to like kind of cleanse, kind of make everything peaceful, and we want to start over. It was an hour and half into the movie. That's where they're like, oh, okay. Right. Like,
Where Leonard Nimoy explains what they were doing there.
right. And I wish that was presented a little bit earlier or some hints, kind of like
Gotcha.
breadcrumbs in a little bit, because I feel like throughout the whole movie, I enjoyed it, but I just feel like
what's their plan? What's the point?
Right. It was just like repetitive for me a little bit of running away and then just like barely scratching the surface.
Sure.
And then now finally almost done. Okay, now
You
this
wanna-
is why.
Yeah.
We're
I hear
here.
that. I hear that. I think the movie spent a lot of time journeying through the concept of this is not possible.
But it was fun to watch, right?
You know what I mean? Like, that was sort of their take. We're
Mhm.
going to spend a lot of time getting it. Like, we know it's actually happening. As an audience, we believe it. We're with Brooke Adams. We believe what she's saying. We see what she's saying. We don't know how it's all happening, but we do believe. I think that's where the movie spent most of its time. But I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think it could have used a few more little hints
Would
and breadcrumbs to help you
Yeah.
kind of along the way.
Right.
Would you have preferred if the characters figured out the answer earlier was happening, or you as an audience member? Like, it's one of the things where it's like, oh,
Yeah. Right. Why
but
aren't you
the-
getting it?
But
Yeah.
or is it like it explains it to like the viewer, like very clearly, but like the lead, like
I
Donald
think- but I
Sutherland
think
doesn't know.
I think you always. I'm saying this, and then we can argue about it. I feel like you want to always be even with the
That's what I'm
characters.
saying.
I don't ever want to be ahead of the characters, because if I'm ahead of the characters, well, we were
It's
ahead of the characters
frustrating,
in
right.
this. Although I think it kind of worked because we were really kind of even with Brooke Adams' character. So we were. That's who we were following.
Yeah, and I think it's nice that when we finally noticed that Spock is with the pod people, that twist was great. So I agree. I don't think we should have. I wouldn't want us to be ahead.
Yeah, because when you're ahead,
But do you
that
feel?
doesn't work.
And that's the one I was gonna. But do you feel like? If they would have found out sooner, it would have been too soon, or do you think it was?
I think the breadcrumbs would have helped.
I think what I don't mean to speak for you because
No.
I'm agreeing with you. I think what Sam's talking about is a very delicate balance. I think
that's just what I remember. Yeah.
And all she's really, I think, of what you're saying is, it's like if we could have just balanced it a little more, I think it would have been better.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't disagree with you. I mean, I didn't think about that, but you bringing it up and talking about it, yeah, I can see that. It's a tricky thing to do, but I mean, the movie was really well made, so it kind of maybe missed a little bit on that point. It would have made a little bit.
It didn't. It wasn't destructive to anything.
Well,
It was
no,
just
but
more of like,
I think you're right, though. I think that would have been even cooler.
I agree.
But I agree.
I
too
agree that you agree with me.
But I agree with the balance too, because it's always because I feel like I just wanted to say too, because I feel like on the opposite end, it's like not opposite end, but sometimes I think too, just kind of what I think annoys me a little more is when you already know what's going on, it like hints the audience, like it straight up tells them what's going on, but the characters don't know yet, and it takes forever because then it just makes the movie feel more tedious.
You become frustrated.
Like,
if you get ahead of the audience, if you get ahead of the characters, it's never works.
You're gonna think the character's stupid.
It
or
never
just gets
works.
boring.
'Cause then you're just sitting going, I already know what's going on. Why don't you guys know?
A very Dora the Explorer kind of thing.
Yeah, because I think too when they kind of like there was a movie that completely bombed. No one watched it.
Oh, great! Can you talk about it for 15 minutes?
I'm gonna talk about it then.
Because I love to hear about movies that nobody liked that completely bombed.
It was kind of, going along with what we were talking
kidding.
about.
Please, I want to
It was this movie called, like I said, they tried to do something, I think, a little different with the storytelling. Was this movie with Johnny Depp called Transcendence?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That was horrible.
I've never even heard of it.
So basically, it's basically what it is like, I only saw it the one time, but I think it's something where it's like.
Well, then you know it's not good if you only watched it once.
Johnny Depp.
Was it in IMAX?
Yes, it was, because Wally Fitzer directed it. And that was his director. He was the DP for The Dark Knight. He did a lot of Nolan stuff.
Oh, right,
and it
right.
was a big deal because of like, he's directing this movie.
Bad choice.
But it's interesting because, like I said, it's basically the trailer's marketed as Johnny Depp, like he was like a computer. And basically he's just like a smart computer that keeps learning. And it's almost kind of like Terminator. It's like the cautionary of technology where it just grows so big, like technology's taking over. But the movie starts out where it's some people, and it's like it looks like almost like the World set. Yeah. And it's like people like destroying computers, and they're like, yeah, we ever since we shut down technology and destroyed all the things, then it's like, okay, now we're gonna tell you the story. It's like you already told your audience what happened, so this whole movie. What's the point?
Yeah. Get to it.
It's just I think the extreme scenarios of that is the reason I'm bringing it up. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
Right, Dan?
Did Philip Kaufman direct The Right Stuff?
I've never seen it.
Won Best Picture.
That doesn't mean I've seen it.
No, it's about the original space, orbit. All the original astronauts.
Yes, he did. He also wrote it.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Really good movie. Anyway.
I don't think so. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So, I will. I don't know if this is I don't know if it's a criticism. It's an observation. I'm curious what you guys thought. So, in the third act, he and Brooke Adams, they get away. They're hiding in the brush. That's when he says, I love you. Wonderful. And then he hears the music, Amazing Grace. Oh my God, it's the ships. We'll get off on the ships. And he runs out. I actually forgotten this sequence from when I'd seen it before. And he runs out and he sees they're just putting the pods on the ship, which I thought was actually great. He leans against a fence. Then he goes back and she's. So
he's gonna make it sound. You're gonna make it sound dumber.
He sees the factory, and he decides, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy the factory." I'm just curious what you thought about that.
Why didn't he do it sooner?
That and what was he really accomplishing?
I think he was just angry.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll go with that
just
because it felt kind of unspectacular to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't like blowing the shark up at the end. Like, this wasn't going to be that kind of finish. Like, he blows up the factory, which is the only place these things exist, and so therefore we have destroyed the invasion, and now life will be good
until
again.
Until the next ships arrive.
Right.
Yeah, the next wave.
Because we already know this isn't going to work. I'm not saying it shouldn't have happened. I'm just curious how that felt while Sam, you had not seen the movie. How did that whole sequence feel? Was it just anger and I'm just gonna do what I can?
My first thought was, why didn't you do it sooner? But then, I think that's just a response to him losing the girl that he was finally able to be like, I love you. So it was just like rage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll accept that. I honestly don't remember being bothered by it before. I think, yes, last night I was kind of more going, huh. First of all, I didn't even remember that sequence from years and years ago. But
what was 50 years ago?
Hi, how are you?
I was just
The movie is not 50 years old.
73. Yes, it is.
Boy, it sure is. No, it's not.
Nice.
Bad Boys.
No, it's that would be 2028 will make it 50 years old.
Oh, I thought it was. I was thinking 73.
You know what year it is?
I was thinking.
Anyway, what else? Boy,
That's
that
all
was
I-
a rough shot moment for me. Thank you for listening, folks.
You're allowed one each season.
Well, that was
so.
crazy. I lost my train of thought. But okay. And then he ran, then he hid, and then I did think it was interesting that last sequence when he's like going to work and he's sitting there. It felt very much like he knew what was going on. He was sort of playing into it. That's why that ending really, when you first, if you don't know the ending, if you don't know the meme that ruins it, it's really quite shocking at the end of the movie. How the camera just kind of rolls right into his mouth and goes to the blackout. And no music during the closing credits,
Yeah.
Love.
which I found equally creepy.
Yeah, I love
Just
that.
Yeah.
silence and credits. That is such a cool
I
idea.
actually didn't know much about the meme, so for me, like when he was back to normal, quote unquote, like doing his daily stuff, I'm like, okay, great. It's one of those where like
Yeah, this is sad, but
things
he's
are back to normal.
surviving.
Yeah, or not normal, but right, like he's surviving. And then when he met the girl, I forgot her name.
Veronica
Mhm.
Cartwright. I have no idea what her name was.
Same. And then when she's like, oh, I see you, like it's like a sense of relief, and then cut to him, and then that squeal. I'm like, oh,
Awful.
this is great.
Just awful. And
Mhm.
her look and her just dread.
Yep.
Awful.
She's like the only one left.
Her name is Nancy, by the way, which is why I fucked up.
Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah.
Because when communism takes over, it's going to get everybody.
I read that it could also be taken as like a consumerism.
Sure.
Yeah, because of the boyfriend. Because he was like watching commercials all the time, even after he became a pod person,
Right.
and just talking
That's-
about your life's like, this is it. You die and you start over.
Yeah. I can see where that would be for the remake for sure. For sure. Yeah. That's cool.
Oh, as a woman,
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Don't like the way where this is going.
in the
So
very
no sandwiches?
no,
Okay.
not today.
Fuck.
I love, and he meant that like because he
No,
wants
because
one.
he's hungry.
I was like, I'm hungry.
You know, in the very beginning, when Elizabeth comes back home
Yes.
and then meets the boyfriend the first time, what bothered me was how he called her. He like snapped and then just like wagged her over. I'm like, boy, if you do that now, you would not be in a relationship. And that's when
Oh,
I turned
well,
the TV off.
100%. But
You didn't
it
actually-
still kind of works for me because that.
What?
No, what I mean is that kind of sets him
Isn't
off
that
already.
Tony?
Where I already don't really like the guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm saying that part kind of makes me. Yeah, you're. And I think that was even in '78. That was kind of. You don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I think it's more to set him up. It's
Well, he's
not
also because Donald Sutherland doesn't like him,
Yeah.
and we don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
So when
So
she's
it
talking
worked-
about he's
right.
different, he's like, yeah, he's crazy. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
And I think so. I think that actually does work.
Yeah. But man,
I don't think we need to like that guy.
No.
I think it's
Mhm.
okay for
No.
him to be.
Is that a thing to put like headphones on like into your TV? Is that what he was doing?
That's what he was doing. I never did it.
Well, you know, thing.
I wasn't born then, so I had to ask you.
Aw,
Dan, I'm gonna
so
ask.
cute.
I'm not.
I was a teenager.
I'm not making this as a jab, as like an age thing. It's
But
just,
also,
no, it's just me wondering. because
Kind
it's
of.
something you
Yeah,
see.
we had TV.
No, I was saying it's something. No. I'm saying it's something you see in movies, and you see people set
Hot
up.
water.
You see in people set up, and they do it, but I don't know. Did you ever listen to records with headphones on?
I did.
Yeah, because you know you see it. Yeah.
I did. And I did because if I wanted to
Dan,
really
turn off that rock and roll.
Exactly. If I really wanted to blare the rock and roll, I had to have headsets on because my parents would say, "Turn that down. That's too loud."
Did you ever?
Whereas the headsets
Were you ever like, man, I wish I can carry this around?
never
Didn't occur to you?
didn't. Yeah, right. That
No?
wasn't a thing.
Because I
Really?
think just in context, it's like you think, oh yeah,
Talk about
like,
the Walkman?
When I listen,
Yeah.
That was cool, man.
When I listen to music, I'm like at home sitting. I don't think you think like, oh, I take it with me.
I
Well, 'cause
remember.
you have it everywhere now.
Well, like let me
I-
tell you now, like I said, like I remember us growing up, like when we had like iPods and we had phones. It's like together. It's like
hey Dan, remember when Travis said that
So how
he
much
was
money
gonna
does he
go on
owe us now? Like,
tangents?
So here's the
$1,000?
thing.
no.
I
you
remember.
could also just end it.
I remember in
Just
my
saying.
bedroom
Wow,
when I was
really?
in high school.
KMS.
I had my headsets, and the coolest thing was I got an extension headset cord. So I plugged it in my stereo. Then I had an extension cord, plugged that in. So I could sit on my bed like 20 feet from the actual stereo with this long cord.
Hey, Sam, remember when Dan said he wouldn't go in tangents?
That was so cool. And I could just blare that music.
I did do that a couple of times, like when we had our TV in the living room at our old house.
Remember when Frank said,
"Listen, buddy, mind your fucking business."
Frank never goes on a tangent, so this is like fine.
Frank's different.
We
it's Frank, but it's not Frank.
It's
what's going on?
I did that because we had our TV in the living room right by our front door, which was also like on the other side of the wall that my parents slept in. So it's like you can't have your TV on really loud at night, so I would have to
listen to it too.
Yeah.
I like how Frank's, while it was a side thing, it was totally relatable and like to the movie.
Yeah.
And actually like
and also done in like 10
fairly
seconds.
quickly.
Are you saying mine wasn't?
Frank's always done in 10 seconds.
Oh.
How would you know?
I said his story.
How would you know?
I said his stories.
Frank, how does Travis know how long it takes you to be done?
The same reason that you know how long it takes for me to be done.
Damn it.
Frank posts Instagram updates.
Okay.
I don't know.
How are we feeling about the big wrap up?
Like us podcast wrapping up?
Yeah,
yes.
a little final thoughts
10 seconds after.
I feel like Dan should go last.
Oh, great.
Dan's going to have his novel.
So, Frank, you go first because you're always last.
Honestly, if you wrap up 10 seconds after, it's not really effective.
Exactly.
So that was your That was your final thoughts?
Look, this movie was a total piece of shit. I fucking hated it.
You
Top to
too?
bottom.
I was going to say, I was like, I don't know.
Actually,
Like,
me too. I didn't want to say it with Dan sitting across from me.
Yeah, you all turn around saying that because that jerk's out of here. So.
Yeah,
let's go to the real podcast. That movie sucks. That movie
I wasn't. I'm not gonna say that I was pleasantly surprised because I this movie has like a like it's known to be good, so I didn't expect it to be terrible. I just wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it myself. Like Citizen Kane is known to be a great movie, but I find it boring. So
context.
That was my main worry going in. I was pleasantly surprised by a lot of the aspects about it, like the filmmaking, and I mean, just overall, there's not really anything I could criticize. It was just a good movie, like a really good movie. I wish we would keep making movies like that, because a lot of stuff nowadays is terrible. I mean, it was terrible then too, but like, you know, more people are able to do more bad movies, so it kind of sucks.
That's true.
That is true, actually.
But as a horror film, I thought it was really effective.
As I recall,
the practical effects were so good and gross. The acting was great. No complaints. 5 out of 5. Dog heads.
Are you really giving it 5 out of 5?
You took my dog heads.
Me dog heads. You like
I love the dog heads.
You like dags?
5 out of 5. Alien Inseminations.
Nice.
Wait, what?
Huh?
Nice.
Huh?
Nice.
I'll go.
Here's Sam.
I wish this isn't like ew, he shot
he shot me in the eye
with a laser.
I wish there was more lore of like this thing, this quote unquote alien I call him. I would like to know more about like how it came about and all those things. I think that would be fun to see or to know. It's not detrimental to the story, but it's a nice little ad. And like I said earlier, I wish it wouldn't scratch the surface. I wish it'd go deeper, and also breadcrumbs would be nice. So that way, I think it would build the tension a little bit more. I enjoyed everything about it, though. I think the cinematography really helped me. That was very, very entertaining. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say. Again, like Frank said, I don't have anything big to like complain about. So, okay, I have a breakdown of how I'm scoring this.
Cool.
So 3 stars for the story.
Okay.
Plus 1 star for how it's filmed and the practical effects, like you also said. So 4. Where did I put? 4 mud baths out of 5.
Ew. Is that real
Love the
mud or
mud
is it
bath.
mud?
Mud.
Love the mud bath.
Go, Trav.
Yes, Trav.
Go Travie.
Ugh.
It's
Go
your
Travie.
birthday.
Go Travie.
Bye.
Finally.
It was cool.
I thought the whole thing
Yeah,
with like
man.
the aliens was so cool.
No.
Why did I imagine him dressed as Sid from Toy Story? It was cool.
Why are you saying that?
So funny.
There was a lot of things about this movie I liked in the sense where you all know me.
You don't have to like him.
I like
them.
you know, the technical aspects. I thought, like I said, all practical stuff, the gore stuff was cool. I like, you know, a good noir film. I like some of these like 70s movies that, you know, within reason, that are a little like slower, where you're kind of slowly like solving this mystery of like, you know, what's going on. Because I feel like a lot of times now with like some newer horror movies, it's a really bad trope where it's like, what's going on? Let's go to the library and like go on the school computers and look up stuff like that. And I'm really tired of that.
Even It does that. Remember they go back. Let's go to the newspapers and read the old
that's
articles.
what I'm saying.
Wow, those articles are all there. Well, then why is this a mystery?
So, and that's why, like I said, I like some of these like older movies because I don't know, like it works for me. And sorry,
You're doing great, man.
no, I'm not. I'm trying to say things that haven't been said. But
Well,
Dan, I'm just so distracted that you have wine in a juice cup. I'm sorry.
You've always done that, though.
Yeah, I know it's funny.
You're
I'm
just
letting the
buying
audience. I'm letting the audience. know.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that
You guys should have juice in a juice
I'm
cup?
saying that you drink your wine like a.
he's saying that you're an alcoholic, Dan.
I did not say that.
Ah, okay.
Well, it's funny.
Hey, man, that's not cool.
Why did you say it like that, though?
I don't know. Felt right. Go ahead, Travis.
No, and it's just weird. It's like I feel like even though like I just seen this movie like recently, it's very weird how it feels like it's like comforting. It's like, oh, like this movie's always been here. If that makes
I agree.
sense.
I did like what you said, not to interrupt you, because I did like how you said we all know this movie. We all know what this movie's essentially
Yeah.
about. This is very much a part of our sort of sci-fi horror world. It's like one of the sort of classic
That's what I'm saying. Like
stories, even if we haven't really, maybe we've never seen it, or maybe we've only seen part of it, but we know the movie.
So and that's why I always feel like it's like with this movie and special fans of the genre, it's not like, oh yeah, like if I'm gonna see it, it's like when did you see it? When are you gonna kind of see it?
Right.
But to sum it up, I'm gonna give this movie. You know how Sam did a breakdown? I'm gonna do a breakdown of Sam's breakdown.
Oh my
And
god.
then
I
break it down.
love that. So
No.
you're gonna rip Sam off. This is great.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'll just I enjoyed the movie. I think it's a funny coincidence that I just happened to see this movie for right before we decided to do it.
That is funny.
No, I'll give this movie 4 out of 5.
Copycat.
I was gonna say this is like my ranking system. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. No, I give it a 4 out of 5 internet memes.
Nice.
I love that your items now are not really like directly related to the movie. It's just a connection.
Yeah. Well, because I was thinking,
You're right about that.
Because I was thinking about it more. Because I was thinking about what you said, where you said you had no context behind it, and that's the thing too. Where I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, I knew that it was from like Body Snatchers, but I didn't know what it meant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
Yeah,
until
it goes back to what Dan was saying,
Until
where
the
it's
one
like-
time when Dan was like, we were talking about the meme. Dad goes, "Oh yeah, that's the ending of Body Snatchers." I was like, "Cool,
Cool story, bro. All right, Dan, tell us why we're wrong.
No, you guys are not wrong.
Did the lights just dim?
I feel like.
No, I'm serious. Like,
Oh
It's the
no,
Christmas lights.
he unplugged the Christmas lights.
oh.
Oh no, we're recording during Christmas.
On Christmas.
Or
It's
Hanukkah.
Christmas
This
right
episode
now.
will be
I
out
know.
Christmas
And
2025.
Joni needs to clear the table so she can set the ham and the turkey. Oh, this looks so good. Okay.
Yeehaw.
I have a very sentimental feeling for this movie. Having seen it with my best friend at the time.
I didn't know you back then, Dan.
Judas.
No, you didn't. And the experience.
One of them killed his brother.
My best friend Judas. And the experience we had in the theater watching it. I mean, this is the same guy I saw the first Evil Dead with. Same guy I saw Alien with. Same guy, I've seen Naked Gun. I saw so many movies with this guy. So it's like a very, I draw strong sort of memories from seeing these different movies. And this was definitely one of them. And I saw it a couple of times in the theater. As I said earlier, but I haven't seen it in years. So I was really a little nervous that this was going to be one of those movies I'd watch again and go, no. But I watched it, and I had so much fun watching it last night. It was because I hadn't seen it for so long, and I had such a great experience. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, because I was worried that I'd be the only one, and you guys would go, this movie sucks,
Dan
man.
can never pick a movie again.
We're just going to wait until you leave the table, and then we'll tell the audience.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's the
stupid.
truth, what Sam actually thought about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Score your right.
No, go ahead.
But I was thinking, because you said you saw it a few times, it got me thinking. I remember when I was looking up this movie, though, and I looked, and I saw its box office. I was like, oh, that movie flopped. It only made $25 million. And then it was, adjusted. It was a big hit. It would be $117 million. I was like, oh, wow.
And I don't think it was an expensive movie. I don't.
That too. Because that's what I was thinking. I was like, $25 million. That was probably the budget.
$10.
But I'm like, no.
Yeah, it probably cost
$7 or $8.
7-8 million
Yeah.
to make. So I was so happy that my experience watching it again was such a positive one, and really appreciating things that I don't even remember appreciating, like the cinematography, the use of the lighting, the acting, of course. I just thought Philip Kaufman did a great job making this movie, and I really appreciate this whole odd kind of like you say, it was like a detective movie, a noir film inside of a sci-fi horror film, and such a cool.
That's my favorite kind of movie.
Was such a cool way to approach a movie like this, and is it a slow burn? Maybe, but I feel like you're always learning something, and it's creepy from the the credits are creepy. You just know right away this is just creepy.
I think it's deliberate.
Not scary. I was never scared, but I was always creeped out.
Yeah, I agree.
And why did you pee your pants?
No. Frank does your laundry.
Because I held my bladder for 2 hours and had to go to the bathroom. Why are you bringing this up now? I asked you not to do that.
Because I wanted to embarrass you.
Okay, well, you did that. Thank you.
No mind. The moment's over. Go ahead,
Travis.
No, say it.
I was just saying, and that's just going to include to my final thoughts, but I forgot. And I think too, like I said, it takes all this blending of different things. It's like, oh, we're gonna use like it's gonna be a noir, and but like I said, I know last week we discussed 28 Days Later and how some of it, the way they filmed it, kind of felt like, it almost feel like nowadays when you watch it, it almost be like a gimmick. It seemed like it said everything. Like I said, you give the credit to the crew, Philip Kaufman, everyone. Everything you just tell was just so expertly done, and it was done with a purpose, and it was I don't know, just very well crafted film.
It didn't feel gimmicky at all.
No, it didn't feel gimmicky, and it just, I don't know, everything just fit so right together.
I agree. I mean, even given Sam's comments about adding a little few more, maybe give me some crumbs, and which I totally agree with you. Having said that, if I didn't have the sentiment I had for this movie, I would say, I'll give it a 4. But because of sentiment, I'm going to pop it up to a 4.5.
I thought you're going to be like a 1.
And so grateful that the experience I had last night was just as great as the experience I had the first time I saw it. So 4.5, really cool alien little flowers.
Yuck.
Which
they're called vaginas, Dan.
Oh, that's what they look like.
Nope.
I've always wondered. I thought this was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Until the very last part.
Enjoyed it.
It was a slow-paced conversation, but it was deliberate and it built up.
I was gonna say.
I'm not gonna say anything.
I was gonna say when you said that, I was like, that brings a whole new word to that brings a whole new meaning to the word snatch.
Frank always.
This movie was snatched.
Frank always frames things in a way that You really could go to such an inappropriate place.
Frank?
Me
No.
never.
This was great. What is our movie next week,
Kangaroo Jack.
Frank?
Yeah.
Have we picked one?
You know, what's funny is that there is actually one. However, oh no.
Oh no.
Is this
what?
our
What's
last
going on?
Is this our last movie before we go on holiday?
Yes, it is.
Climax again?
Fuck
No,
no.
there was
Is
a
that the sequel
No, we're watching
to
it
Climax?
again. No.
I'm gonna
sometimes not at
do.
all.
I'm gonna do a little surprise because see what happened was there was a movie for next. Oh shit.
Language. The children are listening.
There was a movie for next week that was changed to something else. However, we won't be able to do this thing next week. So I'm going to have you guys give me a number between 1 and 50.
Okay, can
Let's
I
say
go
that.
first? 47.
47.
30.
30.
Ooh.
Go lower, go lower.
How about number 6?
4.
Ooh, way lower.
Okay. 47, 30, and 4.
6. Oh, 4.
So 4 is Final Destination 3.
Oh, God.
No.
Why?
We haven't watched
No.
2 yet.
What the hell is wrong with you?
No.
There's no way you have 47 movies.
I was 47. Could you please get to 30 and then go to 47?
30 is Urban Legends Final Cut.
Why is it all
Oh.
sequels? I don't like this. What's okay,
Because this is season 3, there was a bunch of sequels in it.
Dan?
Threequels.
47. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, 1978. I said snackers.
No, imagine.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They eat people.
You said 43, Dan?
47.
Imagine.
I could
though-
do 43
no.
if it's a better movie, though.
We'll never know. Will we?
Imagine number 47 is we're doing the movie
47
The Faculty.
is Fallen Angels.
Well, at least it's not a sequel.
Is that the one with freaking Gerard Butler?
No, Fallen Angels is
Is that with the
Are
guy?
they motorcycle people, like Hell's Angels people?
Is that no?
there's
That's
a
not
scene with a
Christopher.
motorcycle on it.
That's not Christopher Walken, right?
No, it's not.
I don't like any of these choices.
Okay, what is this movie?
Let's
We
just
don't
Fallen
know it.
Angels is Korean.
Are they gonna be writing on the screen?
Yeah, let's
Yes.
Let's all just discuss a movie like that we want to do after this, and we'll.
Fine. If you guys aren't going to choose, then I'm going to choose for you. We're doing The Crazies.
Oh,
Great.
I like that
The
one. With
original?
Timothy Oliphant?
No. Original or
Love.
remake?
Remake.
That, okay.
Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah. I was starting that.
Okay,
before.
so next week we'll be doing The Crazies remake,
Crazy.
2010.
2010.
So
Yeah.
that'll be nice and
You're
gory.
fucking welcome.
And you're welcome as well. This has been a wonderful. Please like us, share us, copy
Please don't.
us.
Don't do any of that.
Just let the world know we're here because we love doing this.
Do we? I'm tired.
I'm tired
Kidding.
too. My
You
name
look
is.
tired.
I am. I'm Dan,
I'm Travis.
I'm Sam.
I'm here.
and that's Frank, and we are
Bye.
out.